Alrighty, so here we are with our Week 6 matchup against the Dolphins. Due to some operator errors, Week 5 won't be posted. I accidentally deleted my video when I was editing it to upload to YouTube, and it just completely got rid of it everywhere, so we're going to give it another shot this week. So, we'll start with some scouting here. Looks like I got most of the tight ends done that I need. We don't need a right tackle. We got a rookie there this year. Defensive lineman, we're struggling there still. I kind of addressed that in my last video. Fortunately, I didn't make it, so we're gonna scout. What I like to do is these first two. It allows you to get up to 8 people a week. I kind of messed around with some of the discounted positions, so my points are a little off. I'll just have to let those odd numbers roll off over the next couple weeks. But if you do the first two, it's 25 a person. You can get 8 people a week. You can see some have different traits than others unlocked. So then once we get to the combine sorting phase of the off season, when we finally get to see everyone's combine scores, then I'll go through and start unlocking some of those last ones on some of the other people that I think would be an asset to the team. You can see I already got a bunch done all the way up. It was something I was trying the first few weeks of the season, and I didn't really like the way the points were going. I was leaving points on the board, and it just didn't seem efficient enough to me to do it that way anymore. So I'm just gonna stick with the way I used to do it and do the first two each week. When you get to the discount positions, like tight end, we need just my volume here. It can throw your points off, so you got to be a little more conscious of that one. So I kind of had to eat that. I didn't really get much of a choice. We'll take a quick look through the roster here and kind of see what's going on, actually what I'm working on. So you can see the offensive line is pretty solid. Lindstrom's my oldest lineman at 28. And you kind of see he's right behind him at 27. I'm choosing to start Valentine over McGarry this year, although McGarry has been a long time starter. You can see he's been with the team for quite a bit. He was with us, 21, 22 when we won Super Bowls, so keep him around kind of just as a backup. You can see Valentine is hidden 22. He's strong, which would be nice, and then he's got pretty solid stats, which I find funny. These power and run blocks, but his run block stats is the lowest thing up there besides the lead block. So he's got really great injury and stamina, so he'll stay on the field. You worry about him getting tired at the end of long drives. And then you see here on defense, I got Pierman starting. Cash is the starter, but you see he's out. He's got a couple more weeks left with a dislocated elbow. We like the power rushers here, so you can see the kind of the way he's built out, all towards power, with 91 power moves, no finesse. High strength. He's got really good injury, but this is the second year in a row now that he's dislocated an elbow. I know in real life that can be a recurring issue for like your shoulders, but not elbows. So I don't know if it's just Madden, being Madden about these things. So he's normally in. Marlon Davidson's been on the team since we started. You can see it's kind of the same thing, run stopper. But he's still got a lot more power moves and finesse. He's actually been quite a sack leader, if you can see. First, took him a little bit to get rolling. 22 and 23 were the Super Bowl years. First 2 years we didn't make it to the Super Bowl. We missed playoffs, lost in playoffs. Lost the Super Bowl last year in 2024. So you can see things are going pretty well for him. He's starting to come alive. Grady Jarrett was there to start with too, so that was part of why he didn't get out of the field. But left end we lost a guy, and right now Baldwin's in getting his shot. You can see he's lower. White played last year. We weren't real impressed. If we go take a look, I mean, he only pulled 2 sacks, so 12 tackles. Like, he didn't really do anything. He was just kind of there. So we're giving him a shot, and we're giving Baldwin his shot. He hasn't played the first few games. I had the guy subbing in, so this next game will be his first one. Pyramid over here. Pyramid will start the season off at the left end. He's got not really great moves. He only got spin move and high motor, which I'm not really a spin move. His injury's real low, but he was considered a pretty solid draft pick. I mean, he came at 74. I think he's only got 1 overall. But you can see he hasn't really done a lot. A couple tackles for loss, no sacks through 4 or 5 games. So just wasn't getting production I needed there. So we'll move on. And then the last thing that we're working on, so D-line's one of our things, and then you can see secondary. Obviously, Jair Alexander's good. We just lost Terrell due to cap issues last season, so I did have 2 X-Factor corners. Fowler's still young, so we're deving him up, and then Dickens has been around for a little bit, but he's coming along nicely. So the main focus is we're trying to work on Kramer, Fowler, Dickens, as well as Baldwin, Davidson, Cash, and the rest of my line, because I tend to lose at least one of them for a handful of weeks each season. So we need some more depth there. So this week I've been bad about finishing all my stuff. I'm gonna do stick routes. We throw a lot of those, and then we can see they do mostly inside zones. This was their favorite thing to call starting out. So we'll leave that. I mean, it's defensive line and linebacker. I mean, both that. So then next week we'll try to rotate in something with defensive back and get them some training as well too. We'll send those. See what kind of upgrades we get. I'm gonna go through all those. Alright, we'll do our upgrades and then we'll play. So Deion Jones is it. We got an agility. Good for him. Because he's up pretty high as far as a lot of that stuff goes. Alright, well, that's it. So we're going to try a new playbook out. We've been running Minnesota. It's not been the greatest. Well, let's won some Super Bowls, but we're running a little flat here, so we're just going to run balance this week and see. Find some new kind of style, play styles that we like, some new passes, maybe give us some better ideas for play calling changes we can make going forward to be more productive.
Today, from Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia.
Skip introductions.
It's week 6 of the NFL on EA
No mind
Sports.
the coffee sips you get
Week
over
6 of the NFL season, and we are underway on EA Sports. Fielded a couple yards into the
I
end zone.
am a return junkie, if you will. There's very few kicks I choose not to return. Mainly because I just like to rack the total yards up, try to get some of these guys cheap Pro Bowl selections, if you will. Alright, so we got a lot of formations we're not used to having, some that we won't have. Yeah, so we don't get all the runs that we're used to, so we'll start off with inside zone. The team's really built around power running. So we just want to kind of make sure we're slanted up in there, wearing the defense down. Mr. James is having a pretty solid year. He's coming off 2,000 last season. He's looking like he's on pace to to be well over 1,500. I don't want to say 2,000 again. It was a real struggle. He put up, I think it was like 170 in the last game. Broke a couple 50-yarders to kind of get himself up there to the 2,000 mark.
It's Jenkins. They'll only get a couple up to about the 30.
Nice, we got 35. Sometimes with a new playbook though, if I'm having trouble finding plays, I might spend a couple games running more of the coaching suggestions, just to see what kind of stuff they drum up that maybe I'm overlooking as I'm frantically choosing plays. Dodged a bullet there. Ridley was a little far out, and then with that linebacker drifting to the outside there, they couldn't hit that slant right away. A little extra power, not quite as accurate as we want. And down inside the 20.
Taking it about the 60. It'll be a 51-yard punt that time, and it'll be Dolphin football. The Dolphins take the field with Tua Tagovailoa, their quarterback from Alabama, at the helm.
Started off bringing pressure. I went over a lot of this in last video. I tend to start with man blitz, and then if they start getting in trouble there, I'll switch more to zone blitz. I like to try to nail them with a bunch of man blitz, and then once they start hitting the quicker passes later in the game, that's when I like to start dropping into my cover 2s, cover 3s. Maybe do some zone blitzing at an increased rate to try and get some of those quick passes off into my zones as opposed to the main routes. It caused some issues. I'd say early on a lot of that stuff will happen if we go into my zones. So we'll drop down, bring some P here, put the press on, see if we can buy a little time for the pressure to get there. Bouncing off the edge like we like, and bam. Jonathan's coming off Player of the Week last week. He had a couple sacks, a pick, and a touchdown.
Not just his off-season, but the film study he's been doing during the week, because I think he's found matchups that he likes, and he's capitalizing.
A few times he's even defeated double teams. He doesn't care at this point. That'll be put in the books as a 50.
I like to do what doesn't even do it. Alright, here we go. The same thing, we'll start off with some runs. Try and soften the defense, loosen them up a little bit. You can see they got a superstar D-line, so that can be issues, especially with X Factor, Grady Jarrett right there in the center.
So how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you called before and realize it hasn't worked so well. Or maybe try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Now a handoff here to his running back.
Good cut off the edge here.
Go as a gain of 7 on the play, and it sets up a 3rd and inches situation.
That's a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a
shift
nice
over,
run.
so we'll
And a lot of times you think if you
that to that
blitz
side, see if we can't pick up this inches.
but a lot of the blitzers, they come in a
There we
little
go.
bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
So Jenkins star light up, I do believe he went for a hit stick there, so you can see with the tank ability, he is almost guaranteed to break those hit stick tackles every time, so that's a plus. Missed our throw there, so that's not good. Just throw that away.
And seeing no options, he just tosses this one away, incomplete. Now that'll bring up 2nd down. And this pass defense, they were sensational in the win last week, and they're looking good here so far in this first quarter.
You know, we often talk
So
about
we'll be able to hit a
offenses get
running line,
locked
right?
in, and that runs
We'll try it
over
off for us so
multiple
we
games
can
where
get
they're
through
really
the
hooking
chip.
up in that zone.
Oh, we
Defenses
do,
do
look
the
at that.
exact same way. I think we're seeing an example of it here.
And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. A gain of 13, it's a 1st down.
So, audibling into runs like that is something I've really been bad at in past man, so I've worked really hard at doing that. It's really helped my game out. So you can see though, Jenkins is already yellow. He He's got terrible stamina. It's only like 82, so he'll probably be out after this play. Have the back up in. He's still in there. He's a tight one.
Nice little nifty play for him there. Yeah, that's the ability to read a defense and utilize players.
Here, he'll have a good chance to just block and take a bit of a breather.
He'll use the backside of the backfield. Because I know that when I used to cover, hey, we got my oh, he just snuck out there and they just got a nice first down there.
What do we love to say? Get those backs into space, right? And they were able to do that there. Nice pickup on first down. Back-to-back nice
We can get
gains.
a Franklin rolling. That'll be a little helpful down his third shorts.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open, just a little underneath
Set across. You see James is still recovering.
and it worked awfully well.
Clock
Got him
runs
not
to
just
10.
space, but plenty of room to
I'm
run
gonna go ahead and
after
slant
the
Cole over
catch
here.
to
I
pick
think
up
I'm
really
gonna
nice
be able to hit that
yardage.
depending on what that outside guy does there off the edge.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw.
Ooh, I'm not sure what Reno was doing there, but
From the snap, he certainly looked like he knew where he wanted to go with the ball, but surprise, that guy was covered. So that took his attention elsewhere to no avail.
he's blue. Really
So
stretch
now
alert.
second and 10
See if
after
we
the
can't clip this to
incompletion
the
on
end zone
first
here.
down. They'll try the left side. Jenkins. And he'll
He did a
find
good
his
job
way
getting
down
around the edge
around
right
the
at the
12.
field.
They do get a yard there, but only a yard. Leaves them with 3rd and 9 looming.
Alright.
Play number
It's
9
not
on
something
the
to big
drive
into.
coming up, and they need 9 yards on 3rd down.
Looking like
Not a
one
whole
of
lot
some
there. The
guys,
defense
so
was
we're
ready
gonna
and looked
call
for that run pass
stick.
option.
You get the sense that
We're gonna
next time he has that
slide in
opportunity,
Greenwood
he may
underneath
keep it
with
himself
it
and get
and
to
see
the
if we can't
perimeter.
get
Probably
a
owes
rub or
back a
something
little
on
bit of
this.
an apology on that one, huh?
Just like that there.
His pass caught at the 4. And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta. A 12-yard touchdown grab. And the Falcons have taken the early lead. One of the keys to their long winning streak has been scoring
Jump
first.
out to
An
the early
ideal
lead.
drive right there, getting the first 6 points of the ball game.
Do you go back to our meeting with the offensive coordinator? Remember what he told
You see a
us?
10-play, 68-yard drive there.
Script to probe in the early part
Really
of the
Buffalo
game.
goes a little wrong.
Other teams are script to attack. They've been in attack
That's
mode
more
for
built
these ball
around
games.
what I
They
want to do in
continue
my
that in
user
this one.
games. For people who watch a lot of people compete Madden, or even play a lot of Madden yourself, you know that there's a big difference between running offense on a computer as well as running offense against users. Especially when you've been playing in a family league like this for a long time, everyone gets really used to it. So being able to consistently run, get them 3-4 yards at a time against the user defense can be extremely helpful in holding on to your win when you get out. The other thing is they usually run a 4-3, so this year in Madden I chose to go to 3-4. So that's been kind of useful. I mean, I've always enjoyed blitzing quite a bit, so I find having more blitzing linebackers as opposed to 4 linemen only 1 or 2 blitzing linebackers. Alright, so we're going to line Dickens up here, give him some better coverage from man. Since man don't want to do a point. Got a good rush from Stevenson. He sees an X factor, so fits there. Although since becoming that, he gets a lot more attention, so the numbers have dropped just a little bit. But that's opened up the other side for Johnson coming off the right side of the offense or left side of the defense, depending on how you want to look at it. Alright, so back on offense. Same thing, we'll start with 2 wide. Alright, so Williamson's my blocking tight end, which is what my scheme calls for. However, I like the receiving guy like Russell to actually be the starter for passing reasons. But what this does is this lets me set up on weak side and get a better edge seal that way, since that's where a lot of seems to be a lot of good players there in the league for whatever reason. And so I find having a blocking tight end there can really make a difference. Don't like the look of this, so we'll go ahead and audible into. I don't like this formation for this matchup I got here. I can't switch. Alright, so we'll run a tight end seam. Oh, we'll let the clock run out, I guess.
After one, 7-0.
Indecision can be a good thing sometimes. Alright. Second and 4. Looks like we got an advantage there. Maybe clip this off for a decent gain here. Get a seal. Nope, I didn't cut it wide enough. Alright, so this is a good opportunity to run one of my favorite short yardage plays. It's really great inside the 5-2, the spacing. So we're going to be looking for Ridley or Russell, depending on what zone does here. We should leave one of those two open. Oh, they covered it well. They actually got on top of that this time, so throw that away. Punt. Don't want to force anything. Do some backspin and try and see if we can't get a good stop here.
But he was covered quite well, and that one's incomplete.
And here's Hoffrichter now, the punter, as he sends this one away.
Not bad. 17, a bit bigger of a hop than one. That's alright. We're running the rare 4-3 here. I do like to mix it in every now and then. The extra lineman can make a difference. Sometimes in the red zone, or just do a good change up for what's going on.
And a short pickup there as he'll take this up to right around the 20. Give him a couple on the carry there.
I don't normally go and match up. I tend to just like run my 3-4 most of the time. Sometimes I like to do it. I get some of my rookies out there like Joseph there. Get some different kind of rushing goals from the line setup.
Gets this to the 24 for a gain of 4.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
Pretty pressing here. Looks like they want to go short.
On play action, here's Tua.
And he's now overflows the coverage.
Complete. And he is going to have the Dolphins first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
And that's really why I don't necessarily drop down into this too often. My strength at D-back just tends to not quite be well enough to cover across the board. So I'd rather try to cover with a zone or something like that. Keep everything in front of me.
Tua now on first down. He's going to hit his man out of the backfield, complete. Give him 7 on the play.
Alright, so we matched up there. It's not going well. So we drop down to the bear and just bring the heat down here. Flip that around. So keep press on. We should get a guy off the edge, hopefully, unless they got a max protector. Yeah, here it was. Stevenson came free, but it was a run, so. That's going to go down as a loss of 5, and it brings up third down. So sometimes I like to run this cover 2 seam because it puts an extra man out there. They can kind of throw off the cover 2 coverage, so let's do that. And then we got Alexander making a great play. That's what we paid him for. There we go. Take it.
It goes without saying, but I'm going to say it anyway. That's a ball he would like to have back, and it lands right in the lap of the defender from there. He doesn't have very far to go before he gets to the end zone, and he got there in a hurry.
The extra point splits the uprights, and that'll make the score 14-0. Sterling will get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away. Fielded near the back of the end zone, and this will not be brought out. It's a touchback. At their own 25-yard line. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. They've given him some touches. They haven't had a lot of success on the ground. Do you maybe keep going to that well, or do you mix it up more?
I think you mix it up more, try and loosen things.
Ooh, you see Alexander's on fire now in the zone, so Tua's going to keep testing him over there. It's probably not going to be very good for him. It'll probably be a long day. So, start off with a power O. See if we can't pick up some yards here and get it going. Not bad, not bad. Guard got around there, picked it up. Alright, oh. full house very often,
And there
but
was
we'll
some on the
run a
downside
sweep
that puts
out.
it during a rundown because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run
Let's see if
quite
we
as
can
well
motion
because you're headed towards the ball carrier
into a
with
strong.
abandon.
Ooh, that's interesting. So it looks like we might be able to pick up some chunk here if we.
On second
Oh, we
down,
got no blocking.
it's Jenkins. And he'll lose yardage here. Back
I
at
want
the
to flip. No, Grady
47.
Jarrett's hurt, so
It's a loss of
maybe we can get
7.
some more push up the middle.
And now it's third down.
Alright, we're gonna take a post shot here. Looks like we might be able to get Ridley on that. We'll see what happens. Oh, it's a zone.
Off
Nice
play
man.
action.
No
Franklin
blocking.
sliding out of the pocket. And he'll just toss it away.
Ooh, it's a terrible day for Franklin as far as percentage goes, but I mean, no picks is what we're really shooting for here. Put some backspin. Use a corner. Little power. Too much in the end zone. See, we got the bounce back we wanted
Too
though.
much mustard on that one. It hits a couple yards into the end zone. A missed opportunity there maybe to pin him back. Tua and the rest of the Dolphin offense heading
The zone
back
seems to be
out.
working pretty well. So we'll drop out a couple 3 matches to start with. See if we can get a push off the edge there with Johnson. See if I can take out some. Oh, we got juked out. Alright, so I should have stuck to my man there. Looks like no one's getting him, so we're in a pinch buck. Dickens down at the tight end. We'll get push with Davidson. Oh, it's a run. No, it's not. There's Stevenson again. A good play fake. You got me. Luckily he was on it. We'll switch over to Cub. We're still bringing heat. This time we're going to shade at the outside. Keep our guys up over the top. And Dickens blows the tackle. That was what we did a lot of in the Super Bowl that cost us our win. Blowing coverage and tackles out of our safety spots there. But for all his faults, he still plays better than lower rated guys, so let's accept it as a weakness for now until we can find a suitable replacement. So there's no huddle on it. He was there to fight for it, that's all we can ask for. Go play inside. The line's blocking exceptionally well for them. There we go. Big guy off the edge there finally. It's a cover 4 drop. Little show 2. This one seems to work on a computer pretty well as users. So. Could get up and block that zone. High now with Jones. Pretty good timing out there, last couple screens there, catching me in my zone, so we'll flip this around, put the press on. Oh, we'll slant the offense is right. And there we go. Good job, Kramer. You have to block a kick in this, man. Ooh, that was close. Just kidding.
So they do get the 3 points before they hit halftime. Something to build on, maybe.
Yeah, go ahead and raise the banner, right? Wave the flag. That's good. Got points, and now, as you said, they got something to build on.
Ooh, nice little rain there.
Now a crease here as he's
Fast Covington's not faster than 90. Alright, so pick up where we left off. We'll just continue with some runs here.
So much because of the ground game.
Take the center there where Jarrett's out. We'll see if we can get some push there. Pick up 5, not bad.
Through the air first, maybe have to start respecting that even more as the game goes on, and then there will be running lanes to find later.
Try to get him more involved.
This isn't a play I necessarily run against the users often with the automatic motion there. Kind of gives it away what I'm doing. Seeing his motion is not really a huge part of my offense anyways.
19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains.
Oops.
How many times do we say in this game is speed kills, and it does it in so many different ways. In this case, you got a back who's quick and shifty, can make moves, make people miss, but also gets to and through a hole before it can close down. That's some of the benefits of that speed, not just outrunning people in the secondary. That led to a really nice game.
Right there you see Jeff Cole makes a nice catch for us. Clock run, we'll take timeout.
First and 10 at the
Now a timeout called with 3 seconds to go, and of course they're in field goal range in the final seconds of this first half.
Field goal.
So 3 seconds here remain in the half. On is the field goal unit to see about getting 3 points. From the right hash, it's a 38-yard attempt. And his kick is indeed good.
Alright, we got a nice 14-3 lead going into the half.
For this first half. So we have come to there you have it. Halftime quickly over. Third quarter, here we go.
Sterling Hoffrichter in the kickoff.
And so this is essentially just like our kickoff after scoring, so it's always nice.
But they'll have it first as we get going in this third quarter. This taken in about 4 yards deep, and he will not bring it out. It's a touchback. Tua and the rest of the Dolphin offense heading back out. And I guess the question, the Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And tough to win games if you're going field goal here. They got field goal last time. Now they'll be looking for a touchdown.
There we go. When it gets spread out like that, it catch me in a base. So I have to just call plays and see what happens. A cover 3 or 2 would kind of help keep everything in front of you. Because if I would have stayed in man, there would have been some really bad matchups that we would have. Let's see, rush defense stays strong. We're gonna go with cover 3 cloud, mix it up. We're gonna play around for the flats over there to the left.
Tua sets up to pass it.
Ooh, still caught us over the middle.
And he is going to have the Dolphins first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. He was held without a catch in the first half, but he's got one here, and he also picks up a first down. Going to give this time to the tailback, and he will be brought down at about the
Jones. I give Jones the secure tackler, so conservative tackles, like if you're holding a Xbox or sort of play. He's got a really high tackle strength. You see a nice rush from Davis in there. Really helps in the run game. See, he's usually the first guy at the point of contact.
The passing windows are just not there. That's just another example of how great this defense has been all game long.
That's exactly what a top 10 defense can do. They can really change the game tempo and frustrate you as you try to execute offense.
Oh, he dropped it though, so it's a good play by Kramer.
Hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. The coverage strong, and now it's fourth down. He's had trouble finding open receivers all game, CD, and that's because really there hasn't been many. This defense has been all over it.
Yeah, they're one of the better defenses in the league, and every time I talk to someone around the NFL, they all say the exact same thing. They're so fundamentally sound, it's hard to execute against them.
So here
We'll quit changing the formula, so we'll stick with the runs.
Remember, they're riding that 5-game winning streak, and right now in the driver's seat of this ball game as well.
Important thing, especially with a new playbook, you want to make sure you're checking your auto on these RPOs. Is it a run or is it throw first? So auto handoff means it's a run first. So we can spot it cold, but it looks like we'll be able to just push this up with Jenkins.
They'll run on first down.
Ooh, they did a nice job stopping him. And that's why we rallied to the goal.
And this is why aggressive
So
defense
we'll run the read
coordinators
option and see if we
wreaks
can
havoc because
catch
they didn't
homeboy
take
there on
their
the end
attention to the blitzers,
in a
free up
pinch,
the
see if he
D-lineman
makes a
to
bad
make the
decision.
They'll keep it on the
And
ground.
get there fast enough, not able to capitalize.
Down here at about the 23
Alright, so
yard
forced
line.
into a passing
Well
situation.
done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
Some receivers out and run this mesh switch.
is perfect on that one. Read his keys.
So it's a zone. We'll streak Russell.
He couldn't even get going.
Depending on how the linebackers split there, we might be able to quick pop it in there to Russell and see what happens.
To throw on third down.
But
Franklin. Open out
got
the
the
left side. This is
so
Cole. And he's going to have a Falcons
and he
first
got it.
down as they're able to get the third down conversion. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down.
Let's get back to running it. So they're pretty spread out for the trips over there. They should be able to pick up some yards here.
And he'll give it here.
Nope, we'll have to bounce off our lineman though.
Gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5.
Yeah, 5. I'll take it.
Brandon, 5 yards on that run. Let's get back to the huddle and make sure you're back. You spend time with your offensive line and give them
So in
credit.
general,
Hard to move those
I'm
300
not
pounders at the
too
line of
thrilled with
scrimmage,
the playbook.
but they did for a significant
I was
chunk of
definitely
yardage.
enjoying it more. Ooh.
He's got the
Ooh.
first down.
Oh.
Pass
Coming on
midfield.
that his stick trying to break them tackles.
Brought down at
That's why Jenkins hit 2K last year.
You certainly have to give a little
But I usually go to my free practice to try playbooks out. And the problem is you don't get to drive. So it's kind of hard to see how the play calling flows.
and making it work.
So
I'm
now
not as
first and
thrilled
10 as they
with
cross
it
into
in
Miami
game as I am in
territory
practice.
at the
So,
43.
ah, you actually see the rain coverage and do our way there. If I could have waited, maybe he would have cleared that. But
And those two just haven't been in
I
sync
felt like the
thus
pressure
far.
was closing in
Did a
on me.
nice
So,
job against it, but still, with his talent,
he
you
would
would
play
expect
action.
him to have more
It's about the
completions
time we'd normally
to
run
him in
after a
this game.
pass. See if we can catch Russell or maybe Ridley. I doubt Cole's going to be able to break free of the safety.
Off the play fake.
Right
Franklin.
there.
Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he's got another first down as he's brought down at the Dolphins' 22-yard line. A good pickup there at 22.
We'll go ahead and run this to the left and see what happens.
On first down.
Split like the sea.
It's
There we go.
Jenkins. It's a 7-yard carry to
See what
set
closed
the
in on our
record.
100.
Second and 3. Lots
We
of
tend to play the
praise on
best
this
the
drive.
closer
Like I said,
Jenkins
I know
gets
you're
to his
seeing those guys are
20
fighting
carries
to
and
get
100 yards.
Play is called. They are
Pretty
able
similar
to
to
do
what you'd
business
see
at
in
the
real
line of
life, really.
and dominating right now
As a
on
run
this
first
drive.
team, if we're not running the
Good
ball,
run, got
we're in
7 on
serious
first.
trouble.
Here's second and 3.
So it's looking like man. So we're going to try to catch Greenwood, Russell, or Cole. I doubt Ridley's going to hit that stop, but we'll see.
Looking to throw.
There we go.
Gonna throw right
Greenwood's not the
side.
fastest guy, 87, but he's got sure hands and he's a wide body to kind of shield out defenders coming across the middle and stuff. So that's why he's out
Now
there.
we get into the psychology
Alright,
of
Jenkins is a little
football.
tired. We'll see if we can't blast this in
Late
though.
in the third quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not
Left
to
side's my
lose.
strong
I think
side, so
with
we'll
this
just push
team,
it up
you gotta
behind there and
figure
see what
this way.
happens.
This is a great spot for them to go into attack mode.
Good play by
Really
Frank.
try to put the hammer down and finish this
Alright, so
one
he's
off.
going to be tired.
It's a loss of a
Oops,
yard
didn't
there,
mean
and
to do
it's
that.
second down.
And too many
Now the
buttons.
offense gonna use the first
It's alright, we'll
of
get
their
Jenkins some
timeouts.
rest then. Maybe we'll be able to
Two remaining. We'll be back after this.
bang one in there. We're going to run this stretch alert to the left. Actually, it's audible and run this off to the right. If they'll let us. Yeah. Oh, they didn't even touch him.
Jenkins, and that one
They didn't even
blew
try to touch him.
quickly, as he's gonna be stopped before he can even get
So
started.
that did not
second down play, that's a -4.
provide
We
what
all
we
know how much
wanted.
running
So
backs
let's
love
go with
getting
some
the ball
tight
down near the
flats.
goal
We'll run
line.
this
They
slot
make a
corner
find
again.
their way into the end zone. He hasn't had that kind of luck so far. Ends up not getting in
We'll
on
watch
the last two
Greenwood, maybe
carries.
Ridley.
You know he's gonna be upset about
Russell
missed
will put
opportunity.
on a stop there. We'll see what happens.
They'll look to throw on
There's a
third
whole
and
lot of
goal.
not blocking, that's for
Escaping
sure.
the pressure
So we'll throw
right.
that away, kick your field
Dolphins do
goal.
the job defensively there, and now it brings
The
up
biggest thing is we just want to be sound and not give them any cheap ones. Cheap fumble, cheap interception return. We just want to keep piling the points on. We really want to try to keep them one-dimensional. Same thing for your user games. It's a little bit harder because they adjust a lot better on the fly than the computer does. So ideally you want to focus on shutting down a facet of each side of the ball that affects what you're doing the most. So for me. I need a strong offensive line so that way I can make sure I'm able to hit 3, 4, 5 yards of carry, pop the big ones later in the game. And for defense, we just want to keep the pressure on. I like the blitz. I don't want to give them time to sit back there and make reads. You know, I'd rather their guys have to catch quick passes and make the play. I want to force them to drive. I want to rack the play count up is really in the end what I'm trying to do. The more plays they run, the more chances to make a mistake they have. And that's what we want to try to capitalize on. Oh, Stevenson with the rare miss. Oh no, there we go. So Dickens came through. Made a nice play there. Save that touchdown because I was about to be bad. Stevenson's a pretty sure tackler over there. We don't see that often, so you know, it was a great play by their running back there. Pitch dog. We'll slide our lineman over, try to overload the side of the line. Pretty lane. Got a bad time. Okay, so they're getting used to throwing on that 3-4. So this is when we'll switch back into our nickel. We'll run a 3-3-5 odd. Put some cover 3 down on them. See if we can't get a rush and kind of disrupt something there. Just scooch there in case they run it. We'll snipe that side also to the offense's left. Nice step there by Dickens. I mean, all in all, it's been a pretty solid day for the team in general, so I mean, we can't complain. I mean, we want to keep them out of the end zone for stat purposes, but I mean, if they get a late touchdown, I mean, we can't be mad. We're up 20-3, so you know, they're eating into their time. We don't want to give them a cheap one. Like I said, plus as we rack their play counts up, that'll change things. So we'll run a cover one robber. We'll flip it though. We'll have Fowler come down for free safety. I mean, they were there. It was just a good play by that guy. You can see there the benefits to having a big wide receiver like that. Flip that. We'll get a sample on the running back. Press him. There comes Johnson. Beautiful. That's what we like to do. We really want to punish them for not taking time to block. And the more people they keep in to block too, that's less people running routes, makes it easier on the coverage team. You know, these are just some of the things I like to try to do. It doesn't always go as planned, obviously. You know, like I said, it comes into adjustments and things like that. Users adjust a lot easier, and so that's where learning to mix your play calling up. You know, getting used to one thing. You know, like I've been blitzing for a few plays, so we'll drop down into bear. Like we would normally blitz out of, but we'll run the cover 2 inverse this time. Put a press on, you know, all the telltale blitz signs. See what happens. And, oh, look at that. Alexander comes through with number 3. So, as you can see there, they kind of went with a quick pass. I choose to believe that they were reading blitz like I'd been showing most of the game, with the computer AI picking up on position shifts and line shifts and things of that nature, and kind of going off that. So I'm going to choose to believe I tricked them into giving me the interception there, and that it just wasn't a fluke. So, so we'll continue to pound the ball. Oh, got hung up on Ridley, but we about had a nice one there. Casey Jenkins got his 100, so that's a good day for him. It's a good day for the offense, really. Alright, so we'll run some slants. Looks like we might be able to hit this blast alert off the left side here, so we got an auto handoff. Running is what we really want to do, keep that clock ticking down. I just don't want excessively at this point, because then it racks up fumble chances, injury chances, things of that nature. So we'll come back out and slants. Looks like we might be able to hit Cole. We'll see what the linebackers do. Maybe Jenkins out in the flats. We want to try to let him. Actually, let's put him in, and we'll put Richard on an out left from fullback spot. the throw. I should normally make that. We don't want the diva coming back out. We just got done dealing with that last week and getting his catches. He's happy. He's playing well. So here is looking like we're going to be able to hit Ridley probably once he crosses over the middle linebackers. And hopefully we can get him up the right side of the field for some big yards here in a second. Just like this. Nope. He caught it in a bad angle. It's not cut. But that was kind of what we were looking for. I also could have probably put my tight ends on a drag there. The inside Russell 42, which would have pulled probably that linebacker out of there. But you know, hindsight, what you can do. We got the first goal, so we're back pounding the rock. Field goal, somebody's hurt, looks like. Oh, Hennessy. Hennessy's always getting hurt for the game. A few plays. Something. He looks real mad though, so.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8.
Alright, so we're going to go ahead and give this one to Allen since they want to leave it so spread out. Allen's a little bit slower, he's only got 89 speed, but he's a little more. His change of direction is about 10 points higher, around the mid 80s as opposed to Jenkins in the mid 70s. So he's still able to make his plays in the running game that way. He's a pretty good receiving back out of the field when he comes in. Jenkins is a kind of a rare guy that's got a lot more talents than just a power back. He was a lucky grab for me when I got him. We'll substitute in. It's late. We're up. Clock's running. We're under 2. No point risking it.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football this point of the game.
You stick with the run. This is what I talk about when I get pass happy and throw these stupid picks late in games or trying to force stuff. Oof. Oh, he broke it though, but then he pushed, so that's good. So you guys 120, no touchdowns. I like to get those for him, but in the end, really all we're looking for is the W. We're just going to keep switching between some of our better plays, like our power O's and blasts and dives.
If you call a pass play here, we're going to call a timeout. So run the football. We've got control of this thing. Get him behind us and let's go.
Their time to shine. On 2nd down now.
And that's a touchdown there. There we go. Beautiful. That's what we play for. Just keep, slamming the rock up the field, and then hopefully from time to time, you get some blocking like that, and get you up there. Make sure this one doesn't get any closer. Also helps get Jenkins' morale up, and if we can keep that up, get him rolling, it kind of keeps the offensive machine running smoothly, the better he does.
We've got no shot to beat this team.
Now following the touchdown, Richter to kick off. Fielded near the back of the end zone. And this will not be returned. It'll come out to the 25.
So we'll drop into some more zones. See if we can get a pick for somebody else, or maybe a sack, off coverage for one of these linemen here. So maybe Davidson there. Let's get for this coming for a drop. Who's on the top? Oh, we'll shade him outside since they're probably going to want to play the sideline. There's Davidson again. Stevenson on it. There we go. That's really all I want to do. We don't want to give him a chance to do. We'll drop out of touch. Over the top. Drop him back. Linebackers might get burned on coverage here, but we're not worried about it at this point. We just want to redo the time. Get a second run off of that, then timeout. So we could just call that and save 8 seconds.
As the clock stops with 23 seconds to go in the game.
So for 39
now, they'll come
some more faster guys on coverage, so we should be alright there.
Again, they will throw it with Tagovailoa.
Johnson
He takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Certainly appeared to take away his first read, and by the time he tried to look elsewhere and find an open target, the coverage was too good.
Shifts
That one falls incomplete.
rush with.
Got a man open, that's Harry. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. Now the Dolphins will use the last of their timeouts. As he'll stop him with
It's just one of those, I
13
just might be
seconds
stuck
left
kind
to
of
play.
searching to fill that position for a while, so
Midfield, here's Tua.
we'll see how the year goes
Backfield,
as
that's
far as
complete.
defensive line development goes.
4 yards remain for
There we
second
go.
down. So time runs out. It's a victory for the Atlanta Falcons. And it was their defense that really made the statement after the break. They pitched the second half shutout.
Yeah, think about the team that just got vanquished. They did score in the second quarter. Do you think they thought at all that that would be their last points of the game?
No, but what a second half. The adjustment, whatever they did in the locker room, it certainly worked.
It certainly did, and you're exactly right. Whether it was an adjustment, whether it was just more focus on what they planned to do going in, whether they just played better.
It's about the same line for the last game, more rushing than passing. 3 takeaways is really good. I don't mind that they all went to Alexander. I'd like to see some other guys step up and make a play for us, though. So hopefully that'll happen as the year goes on. Start catching the groove. Freaking had that 100 rating. That's really all I shoot for, 100 plus rating. If I can do that, then we're usually in a good position to win at the end of the game. Oh yes, there we go. Get the rookie up. He still needs one block, so that's good. Not bad. You can see Williamson's kind of a big guy, slow. He can catch alright, but he's a pretty good blocker on the left side there as the backup tight end. Copes is just a backup, so. Let's see what they had to say about our X Factor D tackle. 500 for the offensive lineman, that's what we like. No more upgrades. Alrighty, well that's that. Thanks for stopping by, and then once we get on to week 7, I'll go ahead and get that video out there as well. So have a wonderful day.